I know, but pretty strange, huh? There was. Oh, oh my gosh, please. There was no audio. It's cause if I put an audio on the beginning, what if people actually tunes into the stream and they think that it's way too loud? You know how my starting screen goes like, right? It's like dun, 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 dun. Yeah, part 2 of me getting embarrassed stream. How's the audio? I made sure I double checked and triple checked. I don't know if it's good quality. I am not an ASMRist. I don't even know why I'm doing this. But thankfully, I'm awake to do this right now. I keep on lagging, bro. You guys are gonna see me lag a lot on this stream. I don't know why. I think my computer doesn't want me to do an ASMR. Good quality. If we don't respond, you did a good job. That's really fair. If I make you guys sleep, then that's pretty good. Okay, let's pretend that you're gonna. Oh god, you're gonna be on the bed already. Good night, chat. Working a night shift, so this stream is perfect. Aww, but if you tune in here, won't you fall asleep on your shift? Yeah, this video open in the background having kind of jump scare. Yeah, honestly, I think if it's me personally, I would be extra jump scared because the starting screen doesn't have an audio, and then boom, all of a sudden there's just like a brat trying to whisper in your ear. I should probably refrain from laughing because it's supposed to be relaxing ASMR. Don't you think so? I mean, there we go. But yeah, how do you guys like that? There's some white noise. I hope that's good. Not gonna lie, I've never really listened. Well, I used to listen a tiny bit on some ASMR, cause my Oshi used to. I think she still does ASMR, and whenever I tuned, I actually there was one specific stream that I tuned into, and I fell asleep, and it made my mom as well fall asleep. That was pretty nice. I said, hello, Rocky. I forgot to I guess greet everyone, huh? Hello, everyone that's in here, and I don't know. I hope you guys feel nice and comfy and later eepy. Oh god, my model's really lagging. But yeah, I hope you like the ambience. I like this kind of like simple noise. Do you guys know white noise? White noise makes me very sleepy but also focus. I usually have that when I work. And yeah, thought it would be nice. Hee 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 hee. Hee hee hee. I really like white noise. I don't know why. I think it's because I have ADHD. Shut up, bro. But yeah, I'm gonna pretend now. I am fully immersed right now. I even have my blanket with me on my chair. And yeah, what if I am the one who falls asleep? I woke up like 2 hours ago. I wanna go back to bed. How much of a ride would be if I have to fall asleep for telling you? I don't know, we'll find out. I don't wanna really, I guess, put so much roleplay into this ASMR cause I wanna make it feel natural for everybody, and I'll die from embarrassment if I keep on doing that thing. I'm just a real hamster. Can't wait for the motorcycle ASMR. Huh, you would probably be surprised. I am hearing some of the motorcycle, but hey, you probably wouldn't hear it on your end because I have nice reduction. Then the second half is sleeping stream. Yeah, probably the second half is just like at least I get an excuse that I can sleep on this stream. I just heard one as Mr. HH. Oh. But and the encore is Gemstone Crab ASMR. Broken neck stream. Oh, it's not gonna break. Oh, like, look at this. But yeah, enough. We gotta go to sleep. I've been waiting for this. Oh, thank you. I'm also sorry it took me a while. I am pretty awkward with ASMR, but I really want to try. I don't know. It's a nice change sometimes, cause I feel like I'm way too chaotic. But the truth is, I am just like this for real, for real. I am a calm, zen, ladylike hamster. Hi, Rov. Is this the sexy voice stream? Oh, you want me to do a sexy voice? Uh-oh. I don't even know if that's sexy, actually. I guess so. Oh, you naughty, naughty. I'm trying to not mute, you know. You probably. I think like 50% of this stream is just gonna be me laughing from either really enjoying the things that is going on or me like really feeling embarrassed. I hope you guys don't die from secondhand embarrassment from this stream. I think at some point though, I've really made some people fall asleep, so rest assured you're probably gonna really feel asleep. I haven't even started. I am the one that's yawning. Hello, Bakaka. Hello. Gotta get my gains. Good luck. What if you fall asleep while you're doing AFKing? Farming. But yeah. Okay. Well, I don't know. Okay, let me pretend now. Let me pretend that I'm gonna put you to sleep. I have a blanket in here. Does that sound like I'm putting you in the blanket? 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 Okay, yes. You guys, actually, I must be unconscious ASAP. I'm trying. Okay, you know what? I feel like one way to actually put some people to sleep, you know what they do with babies? They pat them, or like not really spank, but you know, like a gentle tap on their tushy. Read us some terms and conditions. Terms and conditions. I am actually thinking of reading you guys some bedtime stories. Or should I start reading you guys some Bible verses? Him through one says, no, ew. You know what I like doing though? That I think some people might find like they want it to fall asleep, like brushing. I burped, sorry. The one about that egg who fell. Okay. Humpty Dumpty was his name. Okay. Shush. Calm down. Oh. Brush. On the hair. I like brushing hair. Okay. I think I have it here. Wait a second. There's a bunch of stories. This is the story of Humpty Dumpty. Humpty Dumpty sat on the wall. Humpty Dumpty had a great fall. All the king's horses and all the king's men couldn't put Humpty together again. Humpty Dumpty sat on the wall. Humpty Dumpty had a great fall. All the king's horses and all the king's men couldn't put Humpty together again. Humpty Dumpty sat on the wall. Humpty Dumpty had a great fall. All the king's horses and all the king's men couldn't put Humpty together again. Don't you think this story is quite dark? For kids. I just realized. Hello, thank you for the cozy and relaxing stream. You're welcome. I hope this changes your mind about me. I am not usually loud. I am actually like this. I think some people might agree with me that when I go to VC, I am extremely quiet. I am not like this. Can we also get the same story but in all the languages, you know? Starting with Spanish. Sí, señor. Your request is mi comando. Can you tell us the story of the drunken hamster who gets her cheesecake? It's really difficult for me to tell that story because I haven't really it hasn't happened yet. It's gonna be difficult for me to come up with a fiction. Here's Humpty Dumpty in Spanish. Humpty Dumpty en la pared. Humpty Dumpty se cayó. Ni todos los caballos ni los hombres del rey pudieron a Humpty recomponer. Sleep well. Kinda ironic. Gotta guys, my first time here, but everyone's vibes are sensational. Aw, that's nice. Have a great day. It's ironic you say good morning, but you're gonna go to sleep now. Humpty Dumpty en la pared. Humpty Dumpty se cayó. Ni todos los caballos ni los hombres del rey pudieron a Humpty recomponer. Humpty Dumpty en la pared. Humpty Dumpty se cayó. Ni todos los caballos ni los hombres del rey pudieron a Humpty recomponer. Hehe. What's next? Do you want me to do it in Japanese? Humpty Dumpty hinisuwata. Humpty Dumpty okuchita. Osama no uma mo Osama no heitai no mina de Humpty omoto ni wa modose nakatta. That's so adorable. Get him there. Thank you. Humpty Dumpty hinisuwata. Humpty Dumpty okuchita. Osama no uma mo Osama no heitai mo mina de Humpty omoto ni wa modose nakatta. Humpty Dumpty hinisuwata. Humpty Dumpty okuchita. Osama no uma mo Osama no heitai mo mina de Humpty omoto ni wa modose nakatta. It's so interesting to read this in Japanese. Hello, I am EP Rov. Keep eeping so I can catch up with you on RuneScape. Oh. Tell the story of Humpty Dumpty. Okay, got you. Humpty Dumpty had a great burp. Let me go again. Sorry. Humpty Humpty Dumpty sat in front of her desk. Humpty Dumpty had a great burp. All the bros and all of the people in her community couldn't put Humpty Dumpty together again. It's so difficult to do an ad-lib. Wood whispering Rov, what the hell is wrong with you? You're not allowed in here. Don't make it weird. I'm gonna throw hands. Okay, enough of the Humpty Dumpty. Do you guys want any other stories now? Would purple tetrumi... I wonder if there's like actually Tetris story. I got to scream a lot and sing in lessons today, so I'm pretty happy. Wow. Oh god. Another burp ASMR. I guess this is the burp ASMR now. Maybe you can scream and wake up Rov. No, I don't wanna wake up. Go to sleep, 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 go to sleep. One little sheep, two little sheep, three little sheep, four little sheep, five little sheep, six little sheep, seven little sheep, eight little sheep, nine little sheep, four little sheep. Oh my god, I don't know how to count. No scream. I'm not gonna scream. Don't worry. I'm actually holding back as well my laughter so it's not as loud. You want to sing metal? No, 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 no. We're relaxed. We are zen. I love little ships. Not. I was. Oh, your BGM will jump scare all of us at the end. Actually, I turned all of those off. Maybe a little controversial. Maybe ASMR SCP stories. Rov, don't think we are funny, Chad. What do you mean? I'm literally laughing every single minute in my streams always because of you guys. I don't know what an SCP story is though. What are those? Creepypasta? What if I end up reading you guys like a murder case? Did you guys know that there are actually some people that falls asleep having like a very gory and scary documentary at the back? Jesus Christ, what's wrong with you guys? Those are like psychopathic behavior. Imagine, imagine, listening to documentaries and you're hearing that he buried him 50 feet under. CSB SPL fanfic? Oh, okay, let me search up. Where is this? I gotta read. Oh my god. What's the best CSB? SCP? You know what? It kinda makes me confused cause it almost sounds like the... She fell for the bait? No, okay, never mind. So it's not BL. We're not reading that. Let's go back to bedtime stories. No. You gotta calm yourself down. You gotta stop thinking about anything random. Cause if you keep on like imagining weird things, you're not gonna be able to fall asleep. Didn't you know that? You should be like closing your eyes. Breathe. I'm starting to get sleepy. But yeah, that thing that I just did, I think it works as well to calm yourself when you're pretty stressed. No thoughts, head empty. Exactly. She thinks about it every second. I'm actually surprised. When I was doing that thing that I just did now, I wasn't thinking of anything. Like even RuneScape. What could be a nice story? Oh, I guess like we could do this one. No. How about this one? Rov loves BL more than Manot. Nuh-uh. I've never... The BL that I only know is honestly Jujutsu Kaisen. I may or may not have seen some AO3 fanfiction about Gojo and Geto. We can do a game in the. Teaches Hamterland history? What the hell? That's for. Can you read as a book? Well, yeah. Okay, here's one. This book is, I guess, something that you probably already know. And it's called Mary Had a Little Lamb. I think it also goes as a song. Like, Mary had a little lamb, little lamb, little lamb. Mary had a little lamb. Its fleece as white as snow. And everywhere that Mary went, Mary went, Mary went. Everywhere that Mary went, the lamb was sure to go. Hey, ASMR Hunter, hello. Did you read? Did you know that if you take out the H, T, and E on the word hamster, it's gonna spell ASMR? Anyways, let me read to you the story of Mary Had a Little Lamb, because it's longer than that. You're welcome. Mary had a little lamb, little lamb, little lamb. Mary had a little lamb. Its fleece was white as snow. And everywhere that Mary went, Mary went, Mary went. Everywhere that Mary went, the lamb was sure to go. It followed her to school one day, school one day, school one day. It followed her to school one day, which was against the rules. It made the children laugh and play, laugh and play, laugh and play. It made the children laugh and play to see a lamb at school. Why does the lamb love Mary so? Mary so? Mary so? Why does the lamb love Mary so? The eager children smile. Why? Mary loves the lamb, you know. Lamb, you know. Lamb, you know. Mary loves the lamb, you know. The teacher did reply. Aww, that's so adorable. Anyone wanna tell Inko or Mana that Kirk Catalyst's website is dead? I could probably relay the message to them, but it's difficult. Did you guys know? Sorry, weird tech stuff. Sometimes websites are dead because I think the fee that they paid to have it running is over. I think so, cause you know how there's like World Wide Web stuff. The thing is, there's not much like servers to keep everything like all at the same time. I mean, by the end of the day, it's still limited resources. So yeah, sometimes they just stop working. If they renew the thing, it's probably gonna go up again. Anyways, why do I know this? The Little Prince, huh? You know what? Yeah, we should look for that one. I wanna read that one. Oh my gosh, what the hell? There's a KFC bedtime story. Okay, let me check if they have the Little Prince on this website. I love Little Prince. Have you seen? It actually has a movie. Also, I always wanted to buy the book for The Little Prince. but I always end up not bringing it to the cashier. Okay. I'm trying to look for a. Mm, I'm trying to look for a. What the? I cannot find the little prince online. I think it's because it's a short novel. I don't think I can really read it. I'm sorry. I can probably just look for something else that has a little. How about Little Red Riding Hood? Okay. I love stories like this. I think Little Red Riding Hood is like Grimm Brothers story, right? Why are we all whispering? Also whispering. It's cause I'm trying to make everybody happy. If I talk normally, like loud, oh, thank you. I'm probably gonna wake them up. Wow. This is, oh my gosh, thank you so much for the copy of The Little Prince. Okay. Instead of Little Red Riding Hood, let me tell you the story of The Little Prince. Chapter 1. Once, when I was 6 years old, I saw a magnificent picture in a book called True Stories from Nature about the Primaville Forest. It was a picture of a boa constrictor in the act of swallowing an animal. Wait a second. I don't think this is the start. Oh, it is the start. Okay, hold on. Sorry. Let me start over again. Once, when I was 6 years old, I saw a magnificent picture in a book called True Stories from Nature about the Primaville Forest. It was a picture of a boa constrictor in the act of swallowing an animal. Here is a copy of the drawing. There's a drawing on the book. In the book, it said boa constrictors swallow their prey whole without chewing it. After that, they are not able to move and they sleep through the 6 months that they need for digestion. I pondered deeply, then over the adventures of the jungle, and after some work with a colored pencil, I succeeded in making my first drawing. My drawing number 1. I showed my masterpiece to the grown-ups and asked them whether the drawing frightened them, but they answered, "Frightened? Why should anyone be frightened by a hat?" My drawing was not a picture of a hat. It was a picture of a boa constrictor digesting an elephant. But since the grown-ups were not able to understand it, I made another drawing. I drew the inside of the boa constrictor so that the grown-ups could see it clearly. They always need to have things explained. My drawing number 2 looked like this. Now it looks like it has the elephant inside. Big meal, big eat. That's very true. I was like that and I fell very asleep earlier on my shift. grown-up's response this time was to advise me to lay aside my drawings of boa constrictors, whether from the inside or the outside, and devote myself instead to geography, history, arithmetic, and grammar. That is why, at the age of 6, I gave up what might have been a magnificent career as a painter. I had been disheartened by the failure of my drawing number 1 and my drawing number 2. Grown-ups never understand anything by themselves, and it is tiresome for children to be always and forever explaining things to them. So then I chose another profession and learned to pilot airplanes. I have flown a little over all parts of the world, and it is true that geography has been very useful to me. At a glance, I can distinguish China from Arizona. If one gets lost in the night, such knowledge is valuable. In the course of this life, I have had great many encounters with a great many people who have been concerned with matters of consequence. I have lived a great deal among grown-ups. I have seen them intimately, close at hand, and that has much improved my opinion of them. Whenever I met one of them, who seemed to me at all clear-sighted, I tried the experiment of showing him my drawing number 1, which I have always kept. I would try to find out if this was a person of true understanding. But whoever it was, he or she would always say, "That is a hat." Then I would never talk to that person about boa constrictors or Primavel forests or stars. I would bring myself down to his level. I would talk to him about bridge and golf and politics and neckties, and the grown-up would be greatly pleased to have met such a sensible man. And that was chapter 1. How do you guys think? Basically, that chapter is supposed to introduce us to the narrator, which is a pilot, and his ideas about grown-ups. That was really nice, I think. I think I want to read more of these, but I wonder if I can actually finish the whole thing. It has 89 pages. By the time that I reach chapter 3, I'm probably gonna be also asleep like you guys. To be fair, I don't know if you guys are the same, but there are actually people that falls asleep when they're reading books. I'm just gonna keep on reading then. I want more book. You know what? I actually prefer reading books that has a lot of pictures in them, kind of like manga. I'm a very visual person, I'm telling you. Anyways, going back to the story. I fall asleep if I stare at wall text too long. Oh, you know what could make us fall asleep as well? Probably if I start yapping about math or science stuff. Whenever I don't know why, but every time I studied back in uni, high school, middle school, I always get EP just reading my textbooks. And worst, I do it on bed, so I straight up fall asleep from that. I don't even need bedtime stories. I just need my school textbooks. Your voice is soothing. Thank you so much. I hope it suits your soul. Okay. Here's chapter 2. The narrator crashes in the desert and makes the acquaintance of the little prince. Oh, Hamster can just sleep too much. Yep. Should actually try like not reading this with my tiny voice. I'm gonna try to read this in a mommy voice. Shut up. I have a Kindle. I usually don't read in bed because I will probably drop it off my bed on the dial form. That's fair. I've never tried Kindle. So, I lived my life alone without anyone that I could really talk to until I had an accident with my plane in the desert of Sahara 6 years ago. Something was broken in my engine, and as I had with me neither a mechanic nor any passengers, I set myself to attempt the difficult repairs alone. It was a question of life or death for me. I had scarcely enough drinking water to last a week. The first night, then, I went to sleep on the sand, 1,000 miles from any human habitation. I was more isolated than a shipwrecked sailor on a raft in the middle of the ocean. Thus, you can imagine my amazement at sunrise when I was awakened by an odd little voice. It said, "If you please, draw me a ship." What? Draw me a ship? I jumped to my feet, completely thunderstruck. I blinked my eyes hard. I looked carefully all around me, and I saw a most extraordinary small person. He's just like me. I'm small, he's small. Who stood there examining me with great seriousness. Here, you may see the best portrait that, later, I was able to make of him. But my drawing is certainly very much less charming than its model. That, however, is not my fault. The grown-ups discouraged me in my painter's career when I was 6 years old, and I never learned to draw anything except boas from the outside and boas from the inside. Now, I stared at this sudden apparition with my eyes fairly starting out of my head in astonishment. Remember, I had crashed in the desert 1,000 miles from any inhabited region, and yet my little man seemed neither to be straying uncertainly among the sands, nor to be fainting from fatigue or hunger or thirst or fear. Nothing about him gave any suggestion of a child lost in the middle of the desert. 1,000 miles from any human habitation. When at last I was able to speak, I said to him, "But what are you doing here?" And in answer, he repeated very slowly, as if he were speaking of a matter of great consequence, "If you please, draw me a sheep." When a mystery is too overpowering, one dare not disobey. Absurd as it might seem to me, 1,000 miles from any human habitation and in danger of death, I took out of my pocket a sheet of paper and my fountain pen. But then I remembered how my studies had been concentrated in geography, history, arithmetic, and grammar, and I told the little chap, a little crossly too, that I did not know how to draw. He answered me, "That doesn't matter. Draw me a sheep." But I had never drawn a sheep, so I drew for him one of the 2 pictures I had drawn so often. It was that of the boa constrictor from the outside, and I was astounded to hear the little fellow greet it with, "No, no, no. I do not want an elephant inside a boa constrictor. A boa constrictor is a very dangerous creature, and an elephant is very cumbersome. Where I live, everything is very small. What I need is a sheep. Draw me a sheep." So then I made a drawing. He looked at it carefully, then he said, "No, this shape is already very sickly. Make me another." So I made another drawing. My friend smiled gently and indulgently. "You see yourself," he said, "that this is not a sheep. This is a ram. It has horns." So then I did my drawing over once more, but it was rejected too, just like the others. "That one is too old. I want a sheep that will live a long time." By this time, my patience was exhausted because I was in a hurry to start taking my engine apart, so I tossed off this drawing. And I threw out an explanation with it. "This is only his box. The sheep you asked for is inside." I was very surprised to see a light break over the face of my young judge. "That is exactly the way I wanted it. Do you think that this sheep will have to have a great deal of grass?" "Why?" "Because where I live, everything is very small. There will surely be enough grass for him," I said. "It is a very small sheep that I have given you." He bent his head over the drawing. "Not so small, Dad. Look, he has gone to sleep." And that is how I made the acquaintance of the little prince. That is so lovely. It is. I'm starting to like the little prince. The thing is, whenever I see something, I probably have seen the movie, but I guess there's like a lot of details on the book that doesn't get into the movie, or I probably forgot about it. But yeah, it's pretty nice. That was chapter 2 of The Little Prince. Sorry. You know what? Back then, I used to read just short bedtime stories. Cause I have a tiny attention span anyways. I kinda wanna read a lot of stories instead of reading one whole thing now. So yeah, I guess this is pretty nice. I never read it as a grown up. Oh. Oh, now you're knowing it along with me, huh? You've got a free audiobook right here. Yes, yes. Okay. What page am I already? Oh, we're on page 14. That's good. That's 1% of the book, which is 89 pages. 80 more to go. Ikuza. Chapter 3. The narrator learns more about from where the little prince came. It took me a long time to learn where he came from. The little prince, who asked me so many questions, never seemed to hear the ones I asked him. It was from words dropped by chance that, little by little, everything was revealed to me. The first time he saw my airplane, for instance, I shall not draw my airplane, that would be much too complicated for me. He asked me, "What is that object?" "That is not an object, it flies." "It is an airplane, it is my airplane." And I was proud to have him learn that I could fly. He cried out then, "What? You dropped down from the sky?" "Yes," I answered modestly. "Oh, that is so funny." And the little prince broke into a lovely peal of laughter, which irritated me very much. I like my misfortunes to be taken seriously. Then he added, "So you two come from the sky. Which is your planet?" At that moment, I caught a gleam of light in the impenetrable mystery of his presence, and I demanded abruptly, "Do you come from another planet?" But he did not reply. He tossed his head gently without taking his eyes from my plane. It is true that on that you can't have come from very far away. And he sank into a reverie, which lasted a long time. Then, taking my sheep out of his pocket, he buried himself in the contemplation of his treasure. You can imagine how my curiosity was aroused by this half-confidence about the other planets. I made a great effort, therefore, to find out more on the subject. My little man, where do you come from? What is this where I live, of which you speak? Where do you want to take your sheep? After a reflective silence, he answered, The thing that is so good about the box you have given me is that at night he can use it as his house. That is so, and if you're good, I will give you a string too, so that you can tie him during the day and a post to tie him to. But the little prince seemed shocked by this offer. Tie him? What a queer idea! But if you don't tie him, I said, he will wander off somewhere and get lost. My friend broke into another peal of laughter. But where do you think he would go? Anywhere, straight ahead of him. Then the little prince said earnestly, That doesn't matter. Where I live, everything is so small. And with perhaps a hint of sadness, he added, Straight ahead of him, nobody can go very far. Ooh, so mysterious. That was the chapter 3 already. It's quite, I think it's shorter than the other chapters. That was interesting. He didn't say where is his planet. He just excuse me. He just kept on like saying that everything in his planet is extremely tiny. He kinda reminds me of Katamari. Do you think Katamari is actually inspired from the Little Prince? I wouldn't be surprised if that's the case. Okay, I'll move on right away with chapter 4. Why do I feel like there's people that actually fell asleep already? Yes. The narrator speculates as to which asteroid from which the little prince came. I had thus learned a second fact of great importance. This was that the planet the little prince came from was scarcely any larger than a house. But that did not really surprise me much. I knew very well that in addition to the great planets, such as the Earth, Jupiter, Mars, Venus, to which I've given names, there are also hundreds of others, some of which are so small that one has a hard time seeing them through the telescope. When an astronomer discovers one of these, he does not give it a name, but only a number. He might call it, for example, asteroid 325. I have serious reason to believe that the planet from which the little prince came is the asteroid known as B612. This asteroid has only once been seen through the telescope. That was by a Turkish astronomer in 1909. On making his discovery, the astronomer had presented it to the International Astronomical Congress in a great demonstration. But he was in a Turkish costume, and so nobody would believe what he said. Grown-ups are like that. Unfortunately, however, for the reputation of asteroid B6112, a Turkish dictator made a law that his subjects under pain of death should change to European costume. So in 1920, the astronomer gave his demonstration all over again, dressed with impressive style and elegance, and this time, everybody accepted the report. If I have told you these details about the asteroid and made a note of its number for you, it is on account of the grown-ups and their ways. When you tell them that you may have had a new friend, they never ask you any questions about essential matters. They never say to you, what does his voice sound like? What games does he have best? He love best? Does he collect butterflies? Instead, they demand, how old is he? How many brothers has he? How much does he weigh? How much money does his father make? Only from these figures do they think they have learned anything about him. If you were to say that the grown-ups, I saw a beautiful house made of rosy brick with geraniums, they would not be able to get any idea of the house at all. You would have to say to them, I saw a house that cost $28,000. Then they would exclaim, oh, what a pretty house that is. Just so you might say to them, the proof that the little prince existed is that he was charming, then that he laughed, and that he was looking for a sheep. If anybody wants a sheep, that is the proof that he exists. And what good would it do to tell them that? They would shrug their shoulders and treat you like a child. But if you said to them, the planet he came from is asteroid B612, then they would be convinced and leave you in peace from their questions. They are like that. One must not hold it against them. Children should always show great forbearance toward grown-up people. But certainly, for us who understand life, figures are a matter of indifference. I should have liked to begin the story in the fashion of the fairy tales. I should have liked to say, once upon a time, there was a little prince who lived on a planet that was scarcely any bigger than himself, and who had need of a sheep. To those who understand life, that would have given a much greater air of truth to my story. For I do not want anyone to read my book carelessly. I have suffered too much grief in settling down these memories. 6 years have already passed since my friend went away from me with his sheep. If I try to describe him here, it is to make sure that I shall not forget him. To forget a friend is sad. Not everyone has had a friend. And if I forget him, I may become like the grown-ups who are no longer interested in anything but figures. It is for that purpose, again, that I have bought a box of paints and some pencils. It is hard to take up drawing again at my age, when I have never made any pictures, except those of the boa constrictor from the outside and the boa constrictor from the inside, since I was 6. I shall certainly try to make my portraits as true to life as possible, but I am not at all sure of success. One drawing goes along alright, and another has no resemblance to its subject. I make some errors too. In the little prince's height, in one place he is too tall, and in other too short, and I feel some doubts about the color of his costume. So I fumble along as best as I can. Now good, now bad, and I hope generally fair to middling. In certain more important details, I shall make mistakes also, but that is something that will not be my fault. My friend never explained anything to me. He thought perhaps that I was like himself. But I, alas, do not know how to see shape through the walls of boxes. Perhaps I am a little like the grown-ups. I have had to grow old. That was very lovely. I think this chapter was more of a reflection as to what happened, where the little prince came from, and like it's exploring the idea of, by the end of the day, us adults are just like children after all. Like, we probably have never grown up. But yeah, okay, that was chapter 4. I wonder if like people are awake. Are there still people awake? Are you guys still awake? I wonder. Who are you calling a kid? Shh. You got games on your phone? What the heck? No, I'm not saying that adults are childish, you know. That's the thing, we never part away our children part. By the end of the day, what? Sorry if you guys heard that. Oh god, I'm so sorry. That was my notification. What was that? Nobody subscribe. Nobody, please don't subscribe. This like the one time that I'm asking you not to subscribe to me. Because if you do, you're probably gonna hear that again, okay? Please. Onegaishimasu. I beg of you. I'm literally not screaming. I'm literally trying not to be so loud. But yeah. As I was saying, also, please don't. Please. I'm gonna end my stream. No, please. I removed it. I tried to remove it. I don't know if that's still gonna be like that, but hey, just so you know. I hope that's fixed. Cake. We're trying to be quiet, you know. People are probably asleep already. But yeah, I really like that the narrator is really is sharing his point of view as to how like adults are still a child at heart, I guess. And if you put yourself like to be like I'm trying to find the right words to describe how the chapter goes. But yeah, he did say that what is going on here? I'm trying to make everybody sleepy. You wanna sleep? Do you have insomnia? This is the answer. Brought to you by Hamster. I'm trying to be a caregiver right now. Yosh. Let me brush your hair again. I feel like I'm brushing a hair of fur of pets. Sorry. But yeah, the recent thing that I was doing is reading The Little Prince. The next one that I'm gonna read is the chapter 5. I think after the chapter 5, I'm gonna call it a day and then move on with my life and also fall asleep, just like you guys do. Just as you guys should do, huh? We should sleep early today, so we can have a lot of energy for tomorrow. Sounds like more. Not gonna lie, I really want to go to the wilderness later. I still have to level up my prayer skills. I need some help with that, please. Is there anybody down? I am abusing my power now on my ASMR stream right away. But yeah. God, I'm really tempted. Beat this after. Okay, gotcha. Okay, thank you very much. I still have yet to set that up so I can just ping like everybody that plays RuneScape. But yeah, wilderness content ASMR. I'm sorry. Okay. Chapter 5. This is gonna be the last chapter before I go, okay? I'm gonna assume that you guys fall asleep. Play dead. Play dead, guys. Play dead. Hold on. Yes. I'm dead. And again, let me put you guys over here. Yes. Let me put you. Okay. Why you're still. Your eyes are not like closed. Close your eyes. Okay. Chapter 5. As each we are warned as to the dangers of the baobabs. Baobabs? As each day passed, I would learn in our talk something about the little prince's planet, his departure from it, his journey. The information would come very slowly as it might chance to fall from his thoughts. It was in this way that I heard on the 3rd day about the catastrophe of the baobabs. This time, once more, I had the sheep to thank for it. For the little prince asked me abruptly, as if seized by a grave doubt, "It is true, isn't it, that sheep eat little bushes?" "Yes, that is true." "I'm glad." I did not understand why it was so important that sheep should eat little bushes, but the little prince added, "Then it follows that they also eat baobabs?" I pointed out to the little prince that baobabs were not like little bushes, but on the contrary, trees as big as castles, and that even if he took a whole herd of elephants away with him, the herd would not eat up one single baobab. I wonder if I'm pronouncing right the word baobab. Is it baobab? Baobab. The idea of the herd of elephants made the little prince laugh. You would have to put them one on top of the other, he said. But he made a wise comment. Before they grow so big, the baobabs start out by being little. That is strictly correct, I said. But why do you want the sheep to eat the little baobabs? He answered me at once. Oh, come, as if he were speaking of something that was self-evident, and I was obliged to make a great mental effort to solve this problem without any assistance. Indeed, as I learned, they were on the planet where the little prince lived. As on all planets, good plants and bad plants. In consequence, there were good seeds from good plants and bad seeds from bad plants. But seeds are invisible. They sleep deep in the heart of the earth's darkness until one among them is seized with the desire to awaken. Then, this little seed will stretch itself and begin, timidly at first, to push a charming little sprig inoffensively upward toward the sun. If it is only a sprout of radish or the sprig of a rose bush, one will let it grow wherever it might wish. But when it is a bad plant, one must destroy it as soon as possible, the very first instant that one recognizes it. Now, there were some terrible seeds that was the home of the little prince, and these were the seeds of the baobab. The soil of that planet was infested with them. A baobab is something you'll never be able to get rid of. If you attend to it too late, it spreads over the entire planet. It bores clear through it with its roots. And if the planet is too small, and the baobabs are too many, and they split it in pieces. What have baobabs done wrong? I have no idea. They said that they infest the seeds. It is a question of discipline, the little prince said to me later on. When you finish your own toilet in the morning, then it is time to attend to the toilet of your planet, so with the greatest care. You must see to it that you pull up regularly all the baobabs, and the very first moment when they can be distinguished from the rose bushes, which they resemble so closely in their earliest youth. It is very tedious work, the little prince added, but very easy. And one day he said to me, "You ought to make a beautiful drawing so that the children where you live can see exactly how all this is. That would be very useful to them if they were to travel someday. Sometimes," he added, "there is no harm in putting off a piece of work until another day. But when it is a matter of baobabs, that always means a catastrophe. I knew a planet that was inhabited by a lazy man. He neglected 3 little bushes. So, as the little prince described it to me, I have made a drawing of that planet. I do not much like to take the tone of a moralist, but the danger of the baobabs is so little understood, and such considerable risk would be run by anyone who might get lost on an asteroid, that, for once, I am raking through my reserve. Children, I say plainly, watch out for the baobabs." Rudolph, how are you doing? My friends, like myself, have been skirting this without ever knowing it, and so it is for them that I have worked so hard over this drawing. The lesson which I pass on by this means is worth all the trouble it has cost to me. Perhaps you will ask me, why are there no other drawing in this book as magnificent and impressive as this drawing of the baobabs? The reply is simple, but with the others, I have not been successful. When I made the drawing of the baobabs, I was carried beyond myself by the inspiring force of urgent necessity. And that was the chapter 5. Oh, I actually read up until like page 20 of this story. That's amazing. Anyways, time to eat myself. I really had so much fun, guys. It's a very chill day. I hope that that really changes your perspective on me. That I am more than just a chaotic hamster. I am extremely eepy. And because of that, I also want everybody else to be eepy, which kind of defeats the purpose of stream. Because when you're streaming, I think you should be lively and you should keep everybody's eyes or attention peeled to the stuff that you're doing. But yeah, I'm sorry, I keep on burping. This is more, I'm telling you, this really is more like a burp ASMR. But yeah, yes. Let's go to sleep now. I go to sleep now. I go to sleep. I go to sleep like you. You see me? I go to sleep now. Hmm? Mm-hmm. I assume Nasai. If you see me somewhere else, that's not me. That's not me. You have to embrace every part of ourselves. Exactly. I guess I couldn't really tell what's on my mind about the chapter 5, huh? But overall, I think the Little Prince is really nice. I think it's such a nice story for not just kids, because I guess most kids wouldn't really understand the context or of the story because it's way too abstract for them. But if you're I guess pushing 40, you would really like it. But yeah, I assume Inazai. I hope you enjoyed this nice short EP stream.